So these questions are a little bit goofy in the answers in that the system requires such precision with how the question's answered, number, decimal, number, or number, decimal number, E minus something, that I've given you kind of a multiple choice here. So really what we're doing is we're saying, do we know what it is to transfer or translate a concentration of hydroxide into a POH, and then from a POH convert it to a pH, and then take that pH and bring it back to the hydronium concentration. So again, the OH minus is the hydroxide, the H3O plus is the hydronium, and what we want to do is look at these and say, okay, well, if I'm going to get the POH, okay, the POH is going to be the negative log of the concentration of the OH minus, or the hydroxide ions. So we expect a POH here, when we put it into our calculator, of 4.54. Now, normally we could do the same thing. We'd go over here and we'd say, okay, well, what 14 minus 4.54 makes 9.46, but the only answer that's available is 9.47, but that's pretty close. Okay, so those two numbers add up to, well, they really add up to 14.01, but you get the idea, 14. And then we take the negative normally we take the negative log of the hydronium concentration to get the pH, but to get it backwards, what we have to do is do 10 to the negative pH. And when we do that, we end up with 3.4, and it has to be exactly this way, E capital negative 10, telling us that we have 3.4 times 10 to the negative 10 hydronium ions. So if we were to multiply 2.9 times 10 to the negative fifth, 3.4 times 10 to the negative 10, we would actually get 1.1 times 10 to the negative 14. It's another way you can do it. Down at the bottom, it's just a similar question, except you're given the pH instead of the POH. So if the pH is 2.81, then the POH has to be 11.19. And then you go and you look in the back of your sheets and you say, okay, well, how do I turn POHs back into hydroxide concentrations? How do I turn pH into hydronium concentration? And again, we do the same thing. 10 to the negative POH is going to give us 6.5 E negative 12. And we take the same thing with our calculators. We say 10 to the negative 2.81, and we get 1.5 to the exponent negative 3. Okay, and save and submit.